Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be reading Too Many Pumpkins. And this book was written by, so the author of this book is Miss Linda White. And then this book is illustrated by Megan Lloyd. Let's get started. Every year at springtime, Rebecca Estelle planted just enough seeds in her garden to grow vegetables for the long winter. She planted carrots, beans, tomatoes, peas, corn, rutabagas. She grew a little bit of everything except pumpkins. Rebecca Estelle hated pumpkins. When she was a little girl, money had been scarce. For an entire month, all there had been to eat were pumpkins. Baked pumpkins, steamed pumpkins, boiled pumpkins, stewed pumpkins, mashed pumpkins, rotten pumpkins, breakfast pumpkins, lunch pumpkins, dinner pumpkins. Enough pumpkins. When things finally improved and there was more money to buy food, Rebecca Estelle decided she would never eat pumpkins again or even look at one. Not ever. And she didn't until one autumn day. Long after Rebecca Estelle's hair had turned snowy white, she was raking leaves that fell each fall from her black walnut tree. Let me read that again. She was raking the leaves that fell each fall from her black walnut tree, and her cat Esmeralda was scattering them just as quickly. All of a sudden, the pumpkin truck passed by. Oh, she heard it coming, and she knew what it was. It rumbled by at harvest time every year. She turned her back and concentrated on picking up the last fallen leaf. She managed to ignore the truck until splat! An enormous pumpkin tumbled off the truck and smashed into a slimy orange smithereens all over the edge of her yard. Come back here and get this pumpkin, she yelled, but the driver sped away. Well, I won't touch it, Rebecca Estelle insisted, getting her shovel from the barn. And I won't look at it, she added as she shoveled dirt on top of the pumpkin pieces. I won't think about that pumpkin ever again, she declared. And she didn't until spring, when Rebecca Estelle was admiring the new sprouts in her garden. She noticed Esmeralda playing in some big green leaves growing at the edge of the yard. How curious, she said, going over to inspect them. I didn't plant anything there. Then Rebecca Estelle remembered the pumpkin truck and the slimy pumpkin smithereens. Pumpkins, she cried in disgust. Come out of there, Esmeralda. I will not water those plants. I will not tend them. I will ignore them, and they will die. She picked up Esmeralda and stomped inside. But a week later, when Rebecca Estelle peered out her window, she saw that the vines had grown. She tramped to the barn, got her tools, and went to work on the pumpkin vines. She cut and dug until not one was left growing. There now will be no pumpkins. She smiled and went back inside. But the next week, when she was weeding the garden, she noticed that the pumpkin vines had grown back. Rebecca Estelle marched inside and snapped the curtains shut. The only thing to do is ignore them. They won't grow if I don't take care of them, she muttered. No, so rain or shine, all spring and summer, she never looked out the front window. She only used the back door and never even glanced towards the vines. Neither did Esmeralda. Rebecca Estelle ignored the vines so well that in time she forgot why she wasn't using the front door until one autumn day, when she and Esmeralda went to rake the leaves that fell each fall from the black walnut tree in the front of the house. Pumpkins! Rebecca Estelle shrieked. Pumpkin vines had twined under the bushes, over the bird bath, through the porch rails, and onto the rocking chair. The entire yard was a sea of plump, round pumpkins. Rebecca Estelle could no longer ignore them. She plopped down on the pumpkin nearest her, putting her hands over her face. "What will I ever do, Esmeralda?" she cried. "How will I get rid of this many pumpkins?" She thought and she thought. Her mind went back to all the pumpkins she had eaten as a young girl, when pumpkins were the only food her family had. What do you think she's going to do? Any guesses? Let's see. "Well, we can't let them stay here," she told Esmeralda. "Some people might need these pumpkins, and I suppose there are folks crazy enough to like them. We'll give them away." She marched off to get her wheelbarrow. Rebecca still struggled to lift the first pumpkin, then the second, and the third. She huffed and she puffed as she wheeled the loaded wheelbarrow into the lane. "I'm too tired to deliver these heavy pumpkins now," Rebecca Estelle grumbled. She mopped her brow with her apron and wondered what to do next. "Perhaps if I make them into pies, they will be easier to deliver. Such a nuisance." So she went to work. She scooped the slimy seeds out of the pumpkins and cut away the shells. After she boiled the pumpkin meat, she mixed it with the eggs, milk, sugar, flour, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves to make rich pies. Then Rebecca Estelle made pumpkin tarts, pumpkin muffins, pumpkin cakes, pumpkin bread, pumpkin pudding, pumpkin cookies until pumpkin dishes spilled out of every cupboard, drawer, cubbyhole, and the seeds were a mountain in the corner. "Well, that's the first batch," Rebecca Estelle said, dusting her floury hands. "Now to deliver them." She put the wheelbarrow outside of the kitchen door and loaded it with the pumpkin treats. When it was full, just the thought of delivering all these pumpkin dishes made Rebecca Estelle tired. "If only people would come get them," she said. Then she had an idea. Rebecca Estelle whirled around and hurried back into the house for a kitchen knife. "This should get people to come," Rebecca Estelle cried. She took her knife and sat in the middle of the pumpkin patch. She carved a smiling face on a nice round pumpkin, a scary snaggletooth face on a tall, thin pumpkin, and "Boo" on a short, squat pumpkin. She was so busy carving the pumpkin she hardly noticed how dark it was getting. When she no longer could see, she went to the shelf on the back porch and got a sack of candles she kept for emergencies. "If this doesn't get people to come here, we'll have to deliver them all ourselves," she muttered to Esmeralda. Oh my goodness, look at all those pumpkins. She carved all those pumpkins out. And it looks like she put the candles in there too so they'll light up. Rebecca Estelle peered into the darkness for a long time. She didn't see anything. Still, she watched until finally she saw a light, faint at first, then brighter, then more lights bobbing through the night. "Here they come," she shouted. "Esmeralda, let's heat some apple cider." Young and old, everyone in town came. "Rebecca Estelle, we thought you hated pumpkins," they said. "We saw your jack-o'-lanterns from the end of the road and came for a closer look." "I was hoping you would," said Rebecca Estelle. "Where did you ever find all these pumpkins?" people asked. "I came by them quite by accident," Rebecca Estelle said, smiling. "Would you like some pumpkin pie?" There's plenty, she winked at Esmeralda. Everyone enjoyed the pumpkin pie and cider and had a good time. So did Rebecca, Estelle. And when they were ready to go home, she made sure each carried a jack-o'-lantern, a big bag of seeds for roasting, and a pumpkin treat. Rebecca Estelle gave away everything that reminded her of the pumpkin she had always hated until all that remained was a handful of seeds. Those she tucked snugly into her pocket, where they would be safe until planting time next spring. Wow. So she really, really hated pumpkins at first, right? But now she took those seeds, or she kept those seeds. That way she could plant them again and be able to do it all over again. So now we're going to take a quiz on this book to see how well we did. So let's see how well we understood what was going on in the book. All right, first question. Which of the following vegetables does Rebecca Estelle grow in her garden? So does she grow squash, watermelons, pumpkins, or rutabagas? What do you guys think? Well, we know she doesn't grow pumpkins, right? And then I don't remember seeing anything about watermelons. I'm not too sure I remember squash either, but I do remember rutabagas. Let's try this one. And we were right. On to the next one. Which of the following vegetables does Rebecca Estelle refuse to grow in her garden? Carrots, pumpkins, peas, corn. What do you guys think? Pumpkins. You were right. What does it mean for something to be scarce? To not have a lot of something, to hate something, to love something, to have plenty of something. Let's see. We remember she was talking about her family they didn't have they had a scarce amount of money. So that means they hated something. So did they hate amount of money? Did they love the amount of money? Did they have plenty of money? Or did they not have plenty of money? What do you guys think? Sounds like they did not have a lot of money because all they ate was pumpkins, right? Awesome job. What has happened to something when it is in smithereens? You remember the pumpkin when it fell off the truck and it was just all over everywhere? So, smithereens, it is cooked up into a pie, it is kept whole, it is broken into large pieces, or it is broken into small bits. So, remember in the picture, it really looked like it was broken all up in little tiny pieces all over her yard. Remember? So, if it's broken into small bits, we were right. Why does Rebecca Estelle ignore the pumpkin truck when it goes by her house? She is inside when the truck passes by. She is so busy raking up leaves that she doesn't hear the truck coming. She is deaf. She hates pumpkins, and since the truck is carrying pumpkins, she ignores it. Well, we know she hates pumpkins, right? Oh, we were right. Which of the following methods doesn't Rebecca Estelle try to get rid of the pumpkins? She tears up all the vines. She sprays a weed killer on them. She doesn't water or tend to them and hopes they will die. She ignores them. So let's see. Let's read the question again. Which of the following methods doesn't Rebecca Estelle try to get rid of the pumpkins? So she did tear up all the vines. I remember that. But she sprayed weed killer on them? She didn't water or tend to them. We knew that. And then we remember she ignored them because she stopped using the front door, right? So I think she sprayed weed killer on them. We were right. She did not spray weed killer on them. So why does Rebecca Estelle decide to give the pumpkins away? She figures someone else will like to make a jack-o'-lantern from them. She gives them to her neighbor because she makes excellent pumpkin pies. She remembers when she was a little girl and only had pumpkins to eat. She thought someone else might need the pumpkins to eat. She decides she wants to give a Halloween party and give each person who comes with pumpkin treats. Let's think about this one. What sounds familiar? You are right. She remembers when she was a little girl, she didn't have that much money, right? Her family didn't have a lot of money and she only had pumpkins to eat. Good job. So far we're doing good. What is Rebecca Estelle's plan to get the people to come get the pumpkins? Let's see. She flags down the pumpkin truck and sells the pumpkins to the driver. No. She doesn't wait for people to come to get them. She uses her wheelbarrow to deliver the pumpkins to her neighbors. Okay. She sets up a farmer's stand and sells pumpkins and pumpkin treats. No. She makes jack-o'-lanterns in hopes that people will see the lights and come to her house to investigate. What do you guys think? You were right. Remember, everybody came to her house. Good job. What one thing does Rebecca Estelle not give to her neighbors to take home with them? A pumpkin treat, a jack-o'-lantern, a jug of apple cider, or a bag of seeds for roasting? What do you guys think? Remember, she gave them a pumpkin treat. She gave them a jack-o'-lantern. I remember she said she gave them some seeds for roasting, but I don't remember her saying she sent them home with a jug of apple cider. Good job. How can we infer that Rebecca Estelle has changed her mind about hating pumpkins so much? She tells her neighbors how much she loves pumpkins. She puts a handful of seeds into her pocket so she can plant them in her garden next year. She plans to bake up all kinds of pumpkin dishes and eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She keeps a bunch of pumpkin treats so she can eat them. What do you guys think? So, what can we infer that Rebecca has changed her mind about hating pumpkins? What did she do to make us think that she doesn't hate pumpkins anymore? You're right. You remember she kept the handful of seeds because she wanted to plant them next year? Good job. You guys did awesome. We got 100%. That's what I'm talking about. I was so happy I could read with you guys today, and I cannot wait to read with you again. See you later.